Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Woz Cast. Kind of episode one. I don't know. We did a pilot episode on Thursday, and that was a lot of fun. I've got my co-host here, Maj Sports, or known as Peyton. He's an intern at Oilers Nation, and I've known him for a while. Him and I did a lot of content together during the playoffs in the Moss Pit. You might have known him as the Boston Pizza guy, the really tall guy with the Boston Pizza hoodie interviewing. He did a great job. We had a lot of videos go viral. It was a lot of fun.
Great time.
You're better at interviewing people than me. I do not like going up to
You're good at interviewing, man.
I am, but it's like if you come up to me, I do not like approaching people. I have some social anxiety. It's just who I am. But the Oilers just wrapped up a huge W in New York. They beat the Islanders on Friday. Rangers, Peyton. Did Stuart Skinner steal a game? Can we admit that? I don't know. I think
we can. I think we finally can. I think we. You know what? I'm gonna say it, and I'm not a big Stuart Skinner fan. I like Stuart Skinner, but I think he kind of did steal this game for us. I do like how we finally scored 3 goals in a game, which it's the first time in a while where we've scored 3 goals in a game. But I thought Stuart Skinner, he was a 3. Like he was in the 3 stars of the game, right?
I'm pretty sure, without a doubt. I think
he had to be
950 save.
So
percentage.
He saved us the game. He saved us. I'll admit, Stuart Skinner finally saved us a game. Thank you, Stuart Skinner. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this moment.
Well, I don't think it's the first game he's stolen for the Oilers this
for
season.
A while.
Yeah, like since December.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you and I were saying on the first podcast how we just want to see this consistency from Stuart Skinner because he did. He had a 955. Apologies for the burp. I have a Nation beer.
Of course, Nation beer, everyday lager, prefer for game day and every day.
By the way, this is not sponsored by Nation beer. We don't have any sponsors yet, or if we ever will. But well, Stuart Skinner, to be fair, I mean, he did a lot of work, I thought he was making some huge stops in that game. I mean, Matt Rempe got on a breakaway. He stopped that. But Stu did save 21 shots. Not a ton of pucks going his way tonight against the Rangers, and I thought the Oilers, they did an okay job defending him or defending in front of him. I thought it was a bit cleaner. Evan Bouchard, I thought, played a pretty solid game. I mean, look, I'm a fan of Evan Bouchard, but tonight I didn't think he was terrible in his own zone. Of course, he has the couple giveaways, or he blocked he had a shot blocked, which led to the Matt Rempe breakaway. And fortunately, Stuart Skinner stood tall.
I mean, yeah, everyone played well today. I love Jake Wallman. He's like, bro, the amount of shots he blocked, like I didn't know he was that good at shot blocking. He's so awesome. Woz, what were your, like, when Rempe was on the breakaway, I was just automatically thought about you and Dan, and now you don't like him, and then Dan likes him.
I think I kind of dunk on Matt Rempe in the office to kind of trigger Dan, because I know Dan is a big fan of him. He fights a lot, and I saw Rempe kind of tossed his arm out and hit Troy Stetcher in the face. I'm like, that's Matt Rempe for you. He doesn't know what he's doing with his body, but he's a fun player. I won't lie. His breakout, a couple games last year, he was fighting everyone. It was awesome. And I think hockey needs fighting and physicality. It's just sometimes those hits from behind that he does are they're pretty bad. They're pretty nasty, but he's also 6'9", and he's just funny.
Dude, he's huge. He's huge. He can skate. He can skate too, though. He can actually skate.
But his frame is just weird.
Like, I don't know.
He's 6'9". I guess I'm like 5'11", right? So, dude is massive. But the weird part about this game, which had everyone talking, was the fact that Jeff Skinner was on the 4th line to start the game. And he had a pretty good game. I was very confused on why Kasperi Kapanen was on the first line with Connor McDavid. Jeff Skinner played 11 minutes, 45 seconds, even though he was drawing penalties, he was creating scoring chances. And Kasperi Kapanen, 12 minutes, 58 seconds. I don't know what's going on with Knoblauch and Jeff Skinner, because Jeff Skinner played a pretty solid game, and he still didn't get a ton of minutes this game, even though, I mean, he got some minutes on the power play. But I don't know, Knob. What's going on? Why don't you like Skinner?
Dude, I don't understand it. Skinner, he caused 2 penalties. He gave us 2 penalties.
Or 3 at least, I think. I don't know.
I think it was 3. Dude, he does, like, I don't understand it. I think Knoblauch must be something that we don't know that goes on between those two, because I don't understand how. Like, Skinner's better than freaking Kapanen. Like, why is he not on the first line, second line? Like, I don't know. I thought this was Jeff Skinner's one of his
Yeah.
best games in a while. I didn't really see Kapanen out there. I saw Jeff Skinner. He was out there battling, doing everything. He blocked a shot. Like, no one expects Jeff Skinner to block a shot. Dude, I don't know. I just don't. At this point, he can't do it. He could score a hat trick in a game, and I still think Knoblauch would sit him. Like,
Well, I don't know about that, but he probably still would not increase his
it
minutes,
would
right?
exactly. You never know. You never know. I don't know.
And
Jeff Skinner, I feel bad for him. I genuinely, I've never felt really bad for an NHL player. Jeff Skinner, I
he's
genuinely feel
trying.
bad.
He's putting in the effort, and
You can tell.
he's not really getting rewarded fairly enough.
100%.
I guess it's the NHL. The Oilers have a lot of depth pieces, but it's very strange. And if we look at the defensive end, Evan Bouchard led the team in time on ice, he did, with 23 minutes 34 seconds. Darnell Nurse in second with 23 minutes. The ice time was pretty evenly spread out, other than Troy Stetcher getting 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was because he was hurt or what. Jake Wallman, 22 minutes 40 seconds. It's gonna be good for the Oilers to come back home to Edmonton and probably get Matthias Ekholm into the lineup, right? Because he wasn't on the road trip. They kind of shut him down. Nobody really knows why. I think it was an illness, and I think just like said, hey, Ekholm, you need a break because your body is fighting demons right now.
Yes, and you talk about Matthias Ekholm coming back. Do we know when Trent Frederick's coming back? Like, I know we're on the point. We're on the talk of defense. When is he coming back, dude? I want to see this guy play. I'm going to the game on Thursday. Is there any chance?
No. I think Trent Frederick will play probably in the when he was traded to Edmonton. He was on Bob Stopper's show, and he said it was, I think, an ankle problem. And it was a freak accident. Like, it was bad luck. And I think he's like 2 to 3 weeks is the expected time frame. So maybe not next week, or maybe early April, I could see that happening. Also, another player the Oilers acquired this year, and we did get some news on him, was Alec Regula.
Finally, I forgot the guy was on the team. I literally forgot he was on the team.
I think a lot of people did, and I believe it was Jason Gregor who put it out there that Regula is done for the season.
He's done?
I'd have to check that they're not good. Yeah. So Jason Gregor tweeted out, my understanding is the Oilers have shut down Alex Regula for the year. He's expected to be fully healthy and ready to go for training camp next year. I believe the Oilers acquired him off waivers or picked him up from the Boston Bruins. Yeah, that's a guy who it was. I don't really know what he does. I don't really know what kind of player is. He's a defenseman, picked up by the Oilers. Yeah, I don't know a ton about Mr. Regula. He's had a knee issue for a while. He was claimed off waivers by Edmonton from Boston on December 11th. So Alex Regula won't be an Oiler, or won't be playing as an Oiler this season.
No, it's kind of a weird pickup. I've never heard of him. Is he from? I think he's from Edmonton, right, or Alberta? I think that's the main reason why we.
No, he's not. He is from actually West Bloomfield Township, Michigan, United States.
So I don't know where that is, and I don't know why we picked him up. Makes absolutely zero sense.
I think they always wanted depth, and then now they have John Klingberg, right? Jake Wallman.
Even if Regula was healthy, do you think we'd see him in the lineup? Probably not, because defense is actually our defense is solid.
Yeah.
So
it's a team defense has been a bit of an issue, I think, in front of Stuart Skinner. And also we should note that Zach Hyman was out of the lineup. Interesting. We don't really know what's going on with him. He picked up something against in the Islanders game. Of course, Alicia on Twitter, she was freaking out because she loves Zach Hyman, and I think she even tweeted it out saying something that like Gene mentioning Zach's reaction to Everton's goal. Like, I'm trying to find it here. I think Zach Hyman is not expected to play Tuesday. That's what Alicia tweeted out.
Is he sick?
I don't know if he's sick. He just he picked something up. Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't see anything happen last game.
I think it was like it was during a timeout. I don't know when it happened. To be fair, during the Islanders game, I fell asleep during the second period, I believe, because I just come out of my colonoscopy and I was still
Yeah.
tired. So
Yeah.
we'll maybe
That's valid.
we'll get into detail that maybe it's towards the end of the podcast. If you really want to hear how that went down. What a week I've had personally.
Very interesting.
But just to go through the week for the Edmonton Oilers, they started off the week pretty rough.
Yes. Very rough. I mean, those 2 losses were not fun. Came against not very good teams. I mean, well,
Yeah,
the Devils, I mean, the Sabres, very bad. And then the Devils, I didn't mind the loss. I didn't mind the loss to the Devils. Like, Devils are Devils. They're not, they're pretty
they're
good.
Okay team. They've just had
that loss to the Sabres, that loss pissed me off a lot. We've talked about it last
on Thursday.
Like that pissed me off a lot. So I don't know. I feel like these 2 wins are really good for the Oilers. We've looked good. It's just it's weird. We're a team that usually like scoring isn't the issue, and it's been the issue, which is kind of weird because it's never the issue. It sometimes is the issue, but I don't know. It's usually goaltending is why we're losing. Defense is why we're losing. It's kind of been offense, but I feel like these last 2 games, the Oilers' offense is maybe starting to kind of pick it up. This game, they kind of picked it up. But to me, 3 goals isn't anything special, but hey, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, they got some goals against a pretty good goaltender, Igor Shesterkin. Connor McDavid, that was a nice goal of his, 25th of the season. It's good to see him scoring again. Victor Arvidsson, I think he needed that for his confidence.
Dude, that shot was nice, man.
It was nasty.
Dude, shoot the puck. That whole game, even Louis DeBrusk was saying it. Shoot the puck. Podkolzin's got to start shooting more. Yeah. I loved Podkolzin at the start. I think Podkolzin's last goal he scored was against Utah in like December. January
15th, I believe it was.
Dude, that's too long ago. You're playing with the best player in the world right now on your line. You should have way more goals than that.
Well,
and I understand he's not a goal scorer, but he has a shot, bro. When Podkolzin shoots that puck, it's like a freaking rocket off of his stick. He's got to start shooting more, and I think the whole team has to start shooting more because when you shoot, good things happen. And we saw with Arvidsson, he shot it, deflected off that defenseman's stick a little bit and went in. Like, you just keep shooting the puck, man, because good things will happen.
And Podkolzin against the Rangers had 11 minutes, 59 seconds, about 15 more seconds than Jeff Skinner, which I don't get. But just go. Oilers, of course, they started off the week against Sabres on Monday. They lost 3-2. And I think the one positive takeaway we can take from the Oilers this week is that they were all pretty close games. I mean, 3-2 the Sabres. That was an ugly game. 3-2 they lost to the New Jersey Devils. They beat the Islanders 2-1 in overtime and 3-1 against the Rangers. So they've been pretty low-scoring affairs. The Oilers, they do need to start to find ways to score more. I mean, if you want to win in this league, you got to be able to score at least 4 goals pretty consistently. Last time the Oilers scored 4 goals against the Dallas Stars, and before that, it was pretty bleak. So, but hopefully the Oilers can turn a corner here. They've won 2 in a row. The Devils game was interesting because we recorded just before that, and it was Stuart Skinner who started, and he was getting a lot of flack on social media, as he does, and it's starting to feel like everybody's blaming him for every goal because
that's kind of like me. I kind of do that sometimes.
In the Devils game, he was screened twice on those 2 goals. I would say he could have done better on the 3rd goal. The 2nd goal, he couldn't see anything, and I guess you could say like Stuart Skinner could improve his tracking and trying to find the puck, and it's tough to say. I mean, that's probably one area he could probably improve on. But I think people were a little harsh on Stuart Skinner against the Devils. And I thought he played pretty solid too. He was making some pretty good saves up until that 3rd period where people were like, typical Skinner, losing the game for the Oilers. I think that was a game where you got to find a way to score more than 2 goals as well.
Exactly. Some people are too harsh on Skinner. I was a little bit too harsh. But that tip in front when Nico Hischier was standing in front of him, like, dude, Nico Hischier's a big body in front of you, and the puck goes right to your right side. You can't like move your head around him or anything. Like, I posted that meme on Oilers Nation. I just
that was you. I thought it was Dan.
No, that was me. Nice. And then I don't know. I just feel like people are too hard on Skinner, which sometimes is good because sometimes he does play poorly. But like in today's game, he played great. You got to give him props. And we rarely see that. I feel like we rarely see people give Skinner props. Like, I see you on Twitter, like, give Skinner props, this and that. But then even when Skinner has a good game, you never really see him getting props for even playing good. So I think fans got to start uplifting the team a little bit more instead of downgrading all of our players. Like you said, I think you tweeted that.
I think you're right. In the same breath, you know, Stuart Skinner, he needs to be better. He has not had a good year. His numbers have looked pretty ugly, but give him his props when they're due. Give him his flowers. Give him where credit is where credit is due. That was a mouthful. Sorry, but yeah, Stuart Skinner, he played well against the Rangers. He played fine, I think, against the Devils. He can do better with screens. I think some people were saying, well, he's got to push the players in front of him. Mike Smith used to do that. Mike Smith, he's got to play through that. You know, he's got Mike. Hey, he's still a young goalie, but
that's true.
And then of course we have to talk about Calvin Pickard, who stepped up big time against the New York Islanders. Man, what just a good weekend for Oilers goalies. You know, Pickard on Friday, Stuart Skinner on Sunday, and Leon Draisaitl had a lot of love for Calvin Pickard as well. It was great to see.
No, I love that. I mean, yeah, Calvin Pickard. Weird thing about Calvin Pickard is you can never play him in a back-to-back, but when Calvin Pickard has his scheduled games, he's a dog. Like Calvin Pickard, I remember people saying, "Get rid of Calvin Pickard, man." He's a solid backup. He's everything you ask for in a backup. And I know people were saying, you know, he's the one, you know, 1A, 1B with him and Skinner. No, Calvin Pickard is our backup. He had a .960 save percentage against the Islanders. You rarely see that from a backup, so I loved that performance from Calvin Pickard. And if you can keep that up, man, we have a great goalie tandem. I just think, geez, these guys just have to be more consistent. That's the main thing. They can be more consistent, man. We could have a top goalie tandem in the league. It's just they're so inconsistent. Yeah. It would be top. We just saw today Skinner 950, Calvin Pickard 960 last game. I'm not asking that for every single game, but if it's above 900 every game, that's all we ask. Please, then we'll be happy.
I think it's a bit of a stretch, but I know where you're coming from. I think if you're getting above 900 for like 4 games in a row, that's great. And then you have a stinker. Yes. That's kind of what you're wanting from the Oilers goaltending right now. We're not asking the guys to be prime Hasek or prime Tim Thomas. I mean, I was a big fan of Tim Thomas as I was younger. But it was interesting though. After the Islanders game. I feel like Oilers fans are trying to create something out of nothing. And by that, I mean, is Leon Draisaitl said how much, they'd love to play for Calvin Pickard. And people were like, oh, is that a shot at Stuart Skinner? You don't hear him saying that, but Stuart Skinner. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I'm like, let's not make something out of nothing there. Leon Draisaitl was showing love for his teammate. I'm sure they appreciate Stuart Skinner and everything he's done for them throughout the last 2 seasons, especially in the playoffs, because he had some pretty big games. They're pretty supportive of both their goalies, and sometimes they're not always vocal about both of them. And Stuart Skinner, he's run into a bit of a rough patch. It's good to see him get that win against the Rangers, but I don't think you have to create something and find ways to dump on Stuart Skinner even more just because Draisaitl said he loves playing for Calvin Pickard. And there were those people on social media, and I know people on social media love to talk and make something out of nothing. And it's just like, let's just try to back our goalies as much as we can right now. I think they need our support. I feel like Oilers fans have been a little too harsh, as you said. It's been an interesting couple weeks here and a month and a half of the Oilers. It's been ugly. It's been a lot of issues. The goaltending hasn't been pretty. The lack of offense, the team defense, everything's kind of taken a step back. But let's try to look forward, move forward. The Oilers got a couple points. They're now 4 points back of Vegas for the Pacific Division title. And coming up here, Utah on Tuesday, the Winnipeg Jets on Thursday, and then Seattle Kraken on Saturday, 8 p.m. So some tough matchups, in my opinion, because Utah is fighting for a playoff spot. The Winnipeg Jets are fighting for the President's Trophy. They've been the best team in the Western Conference. And the Seattle Kraken, well, the Oilers need to find a way to beat them. I'm sorry, no excuses. If you lose that, that's no excuses, right?
That's bad. Yeah, I mean, I think we could beat all 3 of these teams.
You think so, right?
If we could play our game, how we usually play, we could beat all these teams. And I'll go back to your Draisaitl point. I think Draisaitl was just, he's just being nice to his backup goalie. Everyone just has to change up the narrative. And maybe Draisaitl's saying Skinner's, no, man, he's just saying how he likes playing for his backup goalie. Like, people just take things out of context so much, and I don't like that. But no, I think these are 3 games we can win. Utah, they're fighting for a playoff spot, but we're a Stanley Cup contending team. We should beat them. The
Hey, man.
Jets, like, I don't know,
Uh,
Woz. I think these are 3 wins, man. If we play like how we played today and we get more offense, man, we can win these games, man. We just gotta stop playing weird. That's what we were playing.
So I wouldn't sleep on Utah too much. They are right now playing the Canucks, or about to beat the Canucks as we are recording this.
Mhm.
So that would be, I mean, they lost to the Kraken on Friday. They beat the Ducks. They're pretty close games. Okay, you know what? They've had some up and down results. Like they're one of those teams where they can upset a top dog. Um, they did beat the Capitals in a
I just
shootout.
feel like right now, Woz, if we're playing a team like that,
Yeah,
they shouldn't upset us in the
I
month
see.
of March. Like
Yeah.
how when we lost to the Sabres, I feel like that's a
Mhm.
bad like can't have that happen. That's just not good. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we have to go into these games. It's March now. We're playing a team like Utah, beat them. We're
Mhm.
playing a team like the Jets. Okay, that's going to be a bit of a contest because those guys are trying to win the
Mhm.
freaking President's Trophy. So I don't know. I feel like these 3 upcoming games we can win, not easily, but we can win.
Just to look at the Winnipeg Jets as well. As we are recording this, it is 2-2 between them and the Kraken. So the Kraken are giving them a bit of a fight. They did recently beat the Dallas Stars 4-1. They beat the
Mhm.
Rangers 2-1. They lost to the Hurricanes. They beat the piss out of the Devils 6-1. So they don't allow a lot of goals. They
No.
can score a lot, and there's a reason why they're at the top of the division. The big question mark for the Winnipeg Jets this season is, can they carry that over into the playoffs? Because we've seen them have pretty good regular seasons in the past, and they just crumble in the playoffs or just can't get it done. I don't know what happened last year. They had a pretty good team as well, and
They're regular season merchants.
well, hey man, eventually that narrative's got to change, right? So
True, but you never know.
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I'm not really scared of the Jets. I don't know. I'm not scared of
and
them. I feel like they do this every regular season.
yeah,
Like it's every time,
but
but
they haven't been this
could
good, I don't
change.
think. But speaking on the Kraken, as the Oilers face them on Saturday, they beat the Utah HC on Friday 4-2. They've been winning a couple of games here and there, like beating a lot of the bottom feeders. I mean, they lost the Predators 5-3 in the
Mm.
beginning of March. So um, that's, like you said, that's a game where the Oilers need to win. The Kraken have been just floating at the bottom of the Pacific, the flipping and flopping with the Anaheim Ducks or wherever they are. They'll probably get a top 5 pick in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Got to beat them. So for the Edmonton Oilers, my expectation is at least 2 wins. The Winnipeg Jets are pretty hungry, good, but also in the same breath, to get a win over Winnipeg would be massive for the Oilers, considering how good the Jets are, and be good.
Mhm.
Good. I think litmus test is the way I would put it. Like,
Mhm.
you want to see how you stack up against the best in the West, and they beat the Stars. Now go ahead and beat the Jets.
100%. I think we can, man. We just have to
Mhm.
play like how we played today, a little bit more offensive power. But no, I can't wait for that game. It's gonna feel like a playoff game. And I'm going to the game,
Yeah.
so I'm excited.
Oh,
I'm
that's
excited.
awesome.
Super excited.
Yeah, and the Oilers are now back at home as well. I was going to bring up their schedule here because they just finished up a 4-game road trip on the east side of the USA. The Oilers now have 4 games at home, and then they fly to Seattle for an away game. Then they're back to face the Flames. So the Edmonton Oilers have 5 home games in their next 6 games. That will be huge, and
That's
then they're
nice.
back on the road to start April against the Golden Knights, which I will be at that game for the nation vacation. That will be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. Vegas is always a fun time. I can't wait to be a degenerate.
That's gonna be exciting. That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be exciting for you guys. No, I think, man, this is the stretch where the Oilers just gotta buckle up because I think,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, I think we're 4 points out of first place.
yeah.
So every win counts right now. I don't want to hear nothing if we lose to the freaking Kraken. It's okay, guys. No,
No, no, no,
that's a
no, no.
win. We need if we want to win the Pacific, if we want to win the Pacific, we gotta listen. We gotta start winning, and it doesn't. I don't care who we're playing. Beat the Jets, beat the Kraken, beat any team. I don't care who it is because I want to get first in our division. That's my goal for
I
this team.
totally agree with you. And this kind of reminds me of what was happening last season, but with the the Vancouver Canucks when they were first place in the Pacific, and it kind of
Mhm.
came down to that game, I think in March or April, where you know it was Vancouver, Edmonton, and whoever won the game basically wins the Pacific Division. I feel like we're going to see the same thing with the Golden Knights, hopefully, where the Oilers play them on April 1st, and that's going to be like a division deciding game. But hopefully Edmonton can kind of climb themselves up the standings here. And the Golden Knights also did the Edmonton Oilers a bit of a favor. They've been losing, the Pacific Division, I'll be honest, has been pretty trash this year.
It has, yes.
I'm pretty sure the Colorado Avalanche would be first place in their division, right there with Vegas. And
they would, because Avalanche have 85 points and the Knights have 86.
Yeah,
so they'd be right there.
Interesting. They lost to the Red Wings today.
Shutout.
Yeah, and they lost to the Sabres in a shootout.
So, hey, we're not the only team losing to the Sabres.
That's actually true, but
it's a bright side. It's a bright side of things.
It's not something to be proud of, I think.
No, it's not, but you can always look to the bright side. And if the Knights are losing to the Sabres, hey, maybe we're not that bad, but still very bad loss. I don't care what anyone says. Very bad loss.
I agree with you there. The one thing I want to talk about real quick is Leon Draisaitl. I loved his energy after that game against the Islanders. He's just such a vocal leader. And I know some people say that he should be the captain, or, Connor McDavid's ever saying this stuff. Connor McDavid's more so, I think, a guy who's more comfortable to lead when the cameras aren't on him, behind closed doors, around his teammates. And Draisaitl, man, the way he was, showing up for Calvin Pickard, the way he said he loves to be an Edmonton Oiler, man, that just everybody says nobody wants to play at Edmonton, but Leon Draisaitl, that just came out of pure emotion when he said, I love to be an Edmonton Oiler.
Dude, that
wasn't forced. He said that out of his heart, right? And it was just something about, I can't remember what it was. The question was like, oh, look at how well you're doing individually. And he's like, that's cool. I don't really care that much. I just care about winning, and it's because of my teammates. And he stays humble, even though he knows how good he is. So Leon Draisaitl, man, we're so blessed to be watching him right now. He's having a monster year. There's some Avs fans right now saying that McKinnon deserves a Hart over him.
No.
I think it should be a pretty close race for the Hart Trophy. I don't think either player should run away with it.
No.
So we'll see what happens there. But Leon Draisaitl, he's only got one trophy on his mind, and that is the Stanley Cup. They'll hand him the Hart, and he's like, sick. Give me the cup.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He does not care about the Hart. He only cares about the Stanley Cup. And Draisaitl's having an insane season. 49 goals, 52 assists, 101 points. He's
16-game point streak right now.
Dude, he's our best player. And dude, we have literally two of the best players in the world. And if McDavid's not on, you got Draisaitl. If Draisaitl's not on, you got McDavid. Dude, he's an absolute beast. It's every game he's scoring a goal. Draisaitl, like I said in the last podcast, I literally said people thought Draisaitl, when he got this big contract, he was just going to fall off and not care anymore. He's playing even better. He got that money, and now he's playing even better. That usually doesn't happen with a lot of players. Usually a lot of players in a lot of sports, they get the bag, and then they kind of drop off a little bit. Draisaitl got the bag, and now he's on his way up.
Well, he wants that Stanley Cup more than anything. He's craving it, and I wonder if it has to do anything with him underperforming in the Cup Finals, and he just kind of wants to prove everybody wrong and says, I knew I messed up in the Cup Finals, and hey, that was because maybe he was dealing with an injury. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but it can affect a player's performance, right? But he's hungry, and I think Connor McDavid, is just trying to he's trying to figure something out. He's trying to play the best of his abilities, but he's been kind of limited in the regular season for whatever reason, and hopefully he just pops off in the playoffs, and I think that's what he wants to do. And he did that last year. I think last year, McDavid didn't have the best regular season, even though he put up some wild numbers, 100 assists. But in the playoffs, Connor McDavid was making some insane plays. I think about that goal against the Dallas Stars, or that assist to Corey Perry against the Florida Panthers. Even though he was dealing with some sort of injury, he was still finding ways to perform.
That's what I think. People got to chill on McDavid a little bit. He's still, what is he on, a 10-game point streak, or that snapped tonight?
Yeah, I don't know. No, he got a goal tonight, right?
Yeah, he did. So he's on 11. I think he's on an 11-game heater right now. No one really realizes that. But I do think when it comes to playoff time, McDavid goes into playoff McDavid, grows out the beard, grows out the
Yeah. Oh,
flow, and he's just a different breed.
I
And
know.
I think that's for everyone on the Oilers. Like people crap on Arvidsson, people crap on Jeff Skinner. Maybe these guys in the playoffs, you never know. You never know. If people in the playoffs turn up.
Mm-hmm.
They wake up for the game a little bit earlier. They're super like when it's a regular season game. I bet McDavid wakes up. He's excited to go play. But when it's a playoff game, he's like, "Holy crap, let's go!"
Yeah, and like you gotta kind of view and frame the playoffs a little bit differently. A, the stakes are higher. B,
Mm,
you know who you're facing, in the next game and the game after that. So you have a better understanding of your opponent. You know they're gonna play you hard. And also you kind of have a more of a consistent schedule too, right?
mm.
You play 2 games at home at the same time. You play 2 games on the road at the same time, basically. So I think that consistency does help some players. And for example, here against the on the Eastern road trip, you're playing a different team. You're going from Buffalo to New Jersey against the Island and the Rangers, 4 different teams that play differently. And of course, in teams in the playoffs, they do try to change up the way they play depending on the circumstances. But the playoffs are a different beast, and I can't wait. We don't really know when the playoffs will start. I think April 21st is my idea. The NHL hasn't confirmed that, but because the Oilers season ends on April 16th. Sorry,
April 16th.
I get the San Jose Sharks.
Man. It's actually this NHL season went by really fast.
And we also had a Four Nations tournament, right? Like a mid-season tournament.
It's actually went like if you think about it, this season's went by really. I don't know. It's for
Yeah.
me. It's went by fast. So I'm so excited for playoffs, man. I'm so excited. I'm tired of the regular season. Bring me playoffs. I'm super excited.
And if just like looking at the Oilers' schedule here, they
We have
have
the second easiest schedule.
apparently
Which
going forward.
I talk about winning. Should be doing a lot of winning.
So the Oilers going forward, they have, I think, they have 2 more back-to-backs, and that is against the Stars and then Kraken. That is at the end of March. And their last back-to-back is at the end of the year, which is a grueling one. They play the Winnipeg Jets, and then they play the LA Kings. And the LA Kings have had a pretty good year. It looks like we'll be facing the Kings for a 4th straight year in the playoffs. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen because I'm just tired of playing the Kings, and the Kings seem like they really want they're sick and tired of losing to the Oilers, and that can creep into the back of your mind and give you extra motivation.
No, I'm scared. I don't want to play the Kings because at some point, bro, at some point they're gonna do it. At some point, like
yeah, I don't want to be that guy. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. But it's been 3 years in a row, and we smacked them last year. But they're actually looking pretty good. Quentin Byfield's on like a 6-game goal streak. Like they're looking pretty good right now. So I'm kind of listen. I still think the Oilers would win, but I don't want to play them because first of all, I'm tired of hearing their goal horn. I'm tired of seeing Will Ferrell. I'm tired of that. I want to play someone new.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. And like, well, I mean, the last time the Oilers played someone new was the Winnipeg Jets, and we got swept by them. So, in the first round, I have trauma from that, oddly enough. But yeah, Oilers have a bit of an easier schedule. They play the Sharks a ton. They end up playing the Ducks a little bit more. So, and of course, the Calgary Flames are in this next few games. The Oilers play the Flames one more time at Rogers Place. That'll be a fun one. The Calgary Flames are in a playoff spot, and I'm hoping we're gonna try and get a Flames fan. I have a friend named Walker on X. He's a Twitch streamer. He's an awesome Flames fan. He's hilarious, and I want to get his thoughts on the not the Oilers, the Flames. Because there's Flames fans who are kind of annoyed that they're winning and they're in a playoff spot. Like, no, we gotta be tanking. But Dustin Wolf has kept them afloat.
Dude, if I was a Flames fan, I'd be saying the same thing. I'd be like, man, just tank. I don't want to go to the playoffs. I get bounced in the first round. But I mean, Dustin Wolf is probably going to make a lot of players want to go to the Flames because he's an absolute dog. He's insane.
Also, there was a photo floating around of Gavin McKenna wearing a Flames jersey when he was a bit younger, which I mean, maybe probably 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So Flames fans are like, can we please tank for McKenna? Imagine if he's a Flame and we have Dustin Wolf and Zane Parekh come up, and the Flames could build a pretty sick core if they get McKenna, but I doubt it's going to happen because that organization is hellbent on not getting a first overall pick. I don't think they've ever had one. So they they'll get a top 5 pick or something, and they're cool with that. But like, no, we ain't touching the first overall pick.
I feel like the Oilers have never gotten a first overall pick.
Bro, I thought you were serious for a minute. I know you're younger than me. I know you're like
no, come on. I was there with the Yakupov. I was there with the McDavid.
Bro, how old were you in 2010?
I was 5.
My guy, I was like in 7th grade. I'm sorry for anyone who's older listening to this and you're feeling just very elder-like. Oh man, yeah, Peyton. What, you born after 2006, right?
2005, I was born.
I remember at the playoffs, and there was Jason Smith was signing autographs.
Yes.
Like, yo, who's that? I'm like,
I did not. I got a picture with Jason Smith, but I was like, who? Like, wait, who's this guy? Like, I don't know who this guy is.
For the Oilers.
Yeah, I had no clue who he was. But I remember when McDavid. This is the funny story. I remember when McDavid got drafted. I was at soccer practice. It was 2015 draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were doing the draft lottery. I was at the practice. I remember my dad like yelled at me. He's like, "We won the lottery," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we won the lottery! Like money." It's the first thing that I was like, "Oh my god, we won money." And he's like, no. The Oilers won the lottery. I was like, oh my god. That's how when everyone like talks about like McDavid getting drafted and all that. That's like the first story that pops up in my mind because that was funny. I thought we won the actual like money lottery. I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. But it was
2015. You must have been what, 10 years
10.
old?
I was 10. I was like, man, we're rich. But he was talking about
the Oilers are rich.
Yep.
So. Geez, man. That's I remember when we got. I mean, that day is coming up here soon, quickly. When the Oilers won the draft lottery, it's almost gonna be 10 years. And I remember. I mean, I'm still in the same house, but I was in a different room. I was watching it, and bro, when that thing flipped, I screamed. I was, oh my god! I was yelling. I ran up and down my staircase. My mom was like, I don't know, vacuuming, and she's like, what's going on? Like. The Oilers won the lottery. It's like, oh, big deal. It's another player. They'll probably mess it up, and she doesn't really know hockey. But I reacted to the McDavid draft lottery like if I packed Ronaldo back in FIFA 13.
Yeah,
and that was very hard back then. If you got I mean, I'm gonna flex here. If anyone's ever played FIFA 13, I packed Inform Ronaldo, and my friends hated me. They're like, typical Woz, dumb as fuck. And then my mom saw the charges on her credit card. Why? What the hell is this? You spent so much money on FIFA packs. And then I'm like, Inform Ronaldo was not.
Yeah, like, come on. It doesn't matter if you're spending $500. You got Inform freaking Ronaldo. That's all.
Well, it wasn't 500. A little less than
if
that.
It was 500.
It was triple digits, and she was not happy. So
the boy was.
Bro, I was like, I was 15, man. I didn't understand the value of money.
No.
So
Inform Ronaldo over money, baby.
Yeah. But what else did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about switching gears to kind of social media, AI content.
Yeah.
Peyton, what are your thoughts on AI generated content on social media right now?
Dude, I don't mind it. I don't care.
Really?
Like, I don't care. I mean, what do you mean AI generated? Like, it's just all like the whole account's AI generated?
No, but like in sports, like for example, this past week there was the Edmonton Oilers win the 2090 NBA championship. Apparently,
okay,
AI predicts.
That's a little bit stupid.
I think it's funny. It's funny.
It's funny. It's content. Like I don't know. I don't mind it. Like everyone like I like the the Grok thing on Twitter. You can make like images and stuff. I like that. Like I don't mind it. It's just I don't know. I think people like there's some people that hate on it. It's kind of like why it doesn't really like
that graphic of the AI predicts the NBA championships and the Oilers are there in 2090.
Yeah,
Oilers sick. I don't know if I'm going to be live in
NBA champs.
But in 2099, you've got the Beijing Dragons.
Yes. Bro, Beijing to the NBA.
The Oilers versus the Beijing Dragons. Oh, AI has predicted the future. I can't wait. I don't know what the travel is going to look like in the 2090s. Christ, that's almost 100 years from now.
That's insane.
Bro, if I make it to 2090, I would be around 95.
And then you'll watch the Oilers
89.
win the NBA. But then you'll watch the Edmonton Oilers win the NBA championship. But I was like, do you like AI generated content? Like, I don't mind
that. Stuff like that is funny.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
The NHL AI generated content's weird because I don't know if you've seen it recently, but there's some viral videos going around where people use AI to change McDavid's interviews or Knobloch,
Yeah,
and it's like
that's
Connor McDavid shits on Stuart Skinner and
yes.
admits the truth, and it's that shit's scary because it sounds so like precise almost. And I had a moment where a couple months ago, my dad thought it was real.
Yeah.
So like,
So
go ahead.
for people like me, I know it's fake. Like I
Yeah,
can automatically tell because you can tell with the mouth, but there's some people, your dad, they don't know. It's like, oh my God, McDavid just said Stuart Skinner's a bum or something. And so you're like, oh my God, McDavid's going for Stuart Skinner's head. So
yeah.
that's the bad part about it. But if you understand it and you know that
Mm.
it's AI, then it's not bad. But I do think that's the bad part about it. For people that don't know it's AI and they're just like looking at McDavid, like, and they just hear it, they're like, oh my God, McDavid actually just said that.
And another example, something that kind of popped up recently on social media was apparently the Carolina Hurricanes used AI for a graphic.
Really? Did they get
So
hate for it?
they did, because people knows it immediately, because sometimes AI can really mess up certain parts of the image.
Mhm.
And in the image, they saw the NHL logo on the jersey, and it didn't even say NHL like where it says on the jersey on the neck part. It was like twisted and stuff, and people were like, that's AI. And like they're like, a professional sports team should not be using AI generated content. You should have
No.
staff to facilitate actual graphics. And
100%.
you know what?
100%.
I don't want to judge another social media account, social media person. That's not even the social media person doing it, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how that comes up. Like personally with Oilers Nation, I think I've used AI generated content once or twice a while back, or I've shared it, and we got
Mhm.
shit on it for it. People like, how dare you? Don't use AI generated content. This is such low. It's people do not like it. I think with AI generated content, it just has to be executed well.
Yeah.
Like,
If it's executed well, then it's fine. If I feel like if you do an AI generated like piece of content and then you
yeah.
add your little spin to it, you edit it, then that's fine. But if you like just literally just grab the image and put it up there, then I could see maybe why people get
Mhm.
mad. I don't know. For me, if I see something AI generated, am I gonna care? No.
Like if
That's just me.
I think the one thing that's cool is like on TikTok, people will do AI videos of like POV. You wake up as a peasant in 1285. That stuff's kind of funny. So,
Yes.
um, maybe Peyton, we can do a parody of that. We can work on it. It's like POV. You wake up as an Oilers fan. I need to.
I should
I need, dude, that'd be funny because people have done parodies of that stuff, and it's pretty good.
Yes.
I gotta think of that. Like,
I think I saw that. Yeah, that's funny. We should do that. That'd actually be
yeah.
fun.
The other thing I want to move on, this is still talking social media, is Facebook clickbait is insane. You know, I know people accuse Oilers Nation sometimes for clickbait, and I don't know, that's your opinion. You're allowed to think that, but some of the clickbait I see on Facebook is wild. Like leaked video shows Connor McDavid going at it with Chris Knobloch on the team's bench, and I'm like, what? No
Yeah.
way. And like I already know what they're referring to, and they're like, the video is in the comments. It's just McDavid mad at the bench, and he's not even like pointing at Chris Knobloch. He's not even like interacting with him that much. He's just pissed off because the Oilers are not playing well. And then
Yeah.
it's stuff like this that fuels these narratives about Chris
Yeah.
Knobloch and the Oilers and McDavid. And it just sucks to see clickbait like this. And Facebook is the worst for it. I don't know. Like, I understand they need the clicks because it turns into revenue and stuff. But like, yeah.
There's been clickbait ever since I was young. I remember I used to watch soccer videos and it'd
Yeah.
be like, this alien came onto the field and shot Ronaldo. And when I was young, I was like, no way, this actually happened.
Yeah.
So I would click on it. Clickbait's been around for so long. I feel like
The YouTube clickbait sometimes can be pretty brutal too. Like, I remember
that
when I
too.
was a kid, the Halo movie was supposed to come out, or like there's a video game, and people would make fake trailers for it, like the World of Warcraft movie. Eventually, they made one, but back in 2010, it was just a rumor. And this is the trailer. And what people would do is not AI do it. AI wasn't around back then, thank God.
Mhm.
But they will take like movie scenes and clip them together to make it like, oh, this is the World of Warcraft movie, even though there's scenes from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Or like, I mean, clickbait was better, I think, back in the early 2010s, because you click on like a fake trailer and you get rickrolled. Rick rolls were the best.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Those were awesome. I loved the Rick rolls are sick.
Simpler
Those
times,
are
man.
sick.
Simpler times, bro.
Yes.
So,
Well, Woz, there's actually some breaking news. I know we're not even talking about it.
whoa. Tell me.
Jamar Chase and the
NFL.
Bengals are signing star wide receiver Jamar Chase to a 4-year deal, $161 million contract.
Oh, wow.
And he makes $40 million a year, which makes him the highest paid wide receiver ever. That's not a quarterback.
Hey, Jamar Chase is pretty good. I
Dude,
didn't have him
40 million was 40 million a year for a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Is that a lot? I thought wide receivers are pretty good.
No, was like the max last year someone got paid was like 30. Now it's going to 40.
Shit. Oh shit. Okay. I think towards the end of the podcast, I will talk about my fantasy football team. And
yes, we must
trades and
we must
what my team looked at the start of the year and then my team at the end of the year because it's I think almost completely different.
Yeah. I every time you talk about your fantasy team moments, I love listening to them. It's just I wonder just like what like the moves that you make is just I always wonder like why.
Yeah,
but maybe you know more than me.
I made a trade in fantasy football that literally made people stop competing in this league because like this league isn't serious. I'll talk about the trade in a few moments here, but just to kind of round out the NHL talk, there's a lot going on in the NHL.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
One thing I want to bring up is that after the trade deadline, Ryan Rishaug tweeted out that it sounded like the Oilers were looking at Rakell on the Pittsburgh Penguins. This past week, Saravalli, apparently on the DFO rundown, said the ask on Rakell at the deadline was each team's best prospect and 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
The Edmonton Oilers currently they don't have a first-round pick in 2025, and they don't have one in 2026. So, and I assume they would have to give up a Sam O'Reilly for Rakell. Rakell has had a very wild year with the Pittsburgh Penguins because he currently has 22 5v5 goals, which is the tied with Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Rakell also has the same amount of 5v5 points as Connor McDavid, or McDavid has one more. Rakell, I do wish the Oilers picked him up, but not for the asking price of 2 first-round picks and the team's best prospect.
Yeah, the Oilers were never going to do that. I mean, Rakell's having a great season. 31 goals, 28 assists, 59 points. Like, he would have been a solid addition. But
5v5, he's been really good.
Our prospect pool is already really weak, and trading a prospect and what did you say? A prospect and 2 second-rounders?
Two first-round picks.
Yeah, 2 for... Yeah,
the Oilers don't have one until 2027.
I don't know what the Penguins are smoking, but they're smoking something, and I don't know what it is.
Well, they're trying to rebuild and retool to give Sidney Crosby some sort of a shot. But man, that wouldn't think like I'm surprised. That's why I know he did get traded because the ask was insane.
Too much for a guy like that. Like I'm sorry, he's good, but he's not that good. No.
Yeah, and then who knows? Maybe this is just a one-season thing, right? Like he's been a good scorer here and there, and yeah. What else did I want to talk about? I'm trying to think. I was going to talk about Mike Smith, but I might have to save that for next Sunday. We did get one question on TikTok, and let me see here. It was about Stuart Skinner. I know it sounds like we're kind of jumping around the place, but we're having fun here, and we don't really have segments on this podcast yet. I don't even like having segments on a podcast, but I do want to answer a couple questions on TikTok that we got. C. Xander asked, do you think any of Skinner's struggles relate to him having a newborn, or is the pressure getting to him being a starter for a team being picked to win the cup soon? That's hard for me to answer because A, I don't have children, and I'm also not a professional athlete. But what I will say is that, parents lose a lot of sleep when they have a newborn. And that could affect a player's performance. And, to be a goaltender, you need to be dialed in. You need to have sleep. Sleep can affect your performance in any profession or any athlete. And, I mean, on the road, that shouldn't be an excuse because you're on the road and you can sleep in a nice hotel bed. but I don't know, maybe a little bit. But then again, so many players have children and newborns.
Exactly.
They play well, and being a goaltender is a little bit more difficult, I would say, compared to a forward or a defenseman. So yeah, it's hard to gauge.
It's a
I
tough
would say.
question. Yeah, it's
Yes.
a tough question because we're not in Stuart Skinner's shoes, so we don't know.
That's perfectly put there, Peyton. And in the same breath, the pressure, maybe. I think he has been put into a position where you know it's not easy. He was never really meant to be the starter at this point. 3 years ago, I think the Oilers wanted to take their time with him, but he put together some good performances. They put their faith in him. He signed a cheap deal. Like, he only makes, I think, around almost just under $3 million a year. So can he be better? For sure. And I think we're
100%.
yeah. But Stuart Skinner, I think maybe, hopefully, I don't know what the future is with him in Edmonton. I hope he stays in the Oilers, but maybe as a backup until maybe late 20s, early 30s, where we can really see him shine, because some goalies don't start to play their best until their early 30s. I think, Dwayne Olsen, he was in his late 30s and he played really good hockey. The same with Mike Smith. Tim Thomas is a goalie I loved, and he peaked in his 30s. So
yeah, I don't know. I wish imagine if we still had Jack Campbell.
No, thank you.
If no, if he was good, I'm not saying if we still had him. No, but like if he was actually the Jack Campbell that we signed, and he was actually like a 900 plus goalie, and he was actually good.
Oh, this is a fun comment.
Would have been
nice. History Dad commented, "I almost never agree with you, but you're entertaining and I dig it. Good luck with the podcast." Thank you, History Dad. And that's okay. You don't have to agree with anything I say. I'll be honest. I'm a pretty laid back Oilers fan. I'm not as strict on I guess, like, on Evan Bouchard and Stuart Skinner like some people. I see the value in these players, and I know that they need to be better, but yeah, fair enough. Someone commented 1 hour ago, "Cool. Now I watched Bouchard. Why and what is wrong with that man? I mean, Ekholm even needed a break from him. What is Ekholm's injuries? Ekholm is just sick. We don't really know what he's dealing with.
No.
I think the Oilers just wanted to shut him down. Also, I mean, Bouchard, I thought, played fine against the Rangers. I thought he had.
I didn't see anything wrong with Bouchard, and I'm usually a Bouchard watcher, and everything he does bad, I'm on his ass.
Yeah, so
but I didn't think
Bouchard against the Rangers, he had a gross turnover in the defensive zone, which almost led to a goal against. As per. But he also, I think, had a shot blocked, which led to the Matt Rempe breakaway. But like I've always said, he's a high event player where he has so much ice time and he has the puck so often on a stick that these mistakes are kind of bound to happen. And if we look at the top defensemen in the NHL, they all lead the NHL in giveaways. Like we mentioned in our first podcast, the defenseman or player who leads the NHL in giveaways is, who is it? Mackenzie Weegar on the Calgary Flames. So if you go look at the players who have the most giveaways in the NHL, they're most likely top 4, top 2 defensemen and some of the top forwards. So, but I understand with Evan Bouchard because his turnovers, giveaways, it's a lot about time and place, when they happen in the game, and it can be a headache because some of them are brutal and they lead to goals against. But Evan Bouchard also does a lot of good things. He's a great puck moving defenseman. He moves. So yeah, but I personally like Evan Bouchard. I trust me, I get pissed off when he gives away the puck like anyone else.
Yeah, I think everyone does. Bouchard, when he gives away the puck and it's just a stupid giveaway, it does tend to piss me off. But we love Bouch when he's on fire. So,
somebody commented, "Aiden should get me in as a co-host like my guy RA." What? I mean, RA from Spit and Chicklets, or he's not on it anymore, but I don't know what's going on there. But I met RA during the playoffs at Greta. Really nice guy. I kind of asked him, "How'd you get in the industry?" He was pretty chill. I know he gets a lot of heat online, but I thought he was a cool guy. He's got a hell of a body shape, though. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I don't want to judge someone's body shape. I've been judged online. I'm not perfect, but RA, I've always thought he's funny.
I don't know. I've never really watched Spit and Chicklets. Like I see their TikTok clips
here and there. They get some good guests. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have friends who are. My only issue with Spit and Chicklets is how long their podcasts are. Like, they can be like 3 hours long, man.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm not listening to a 3-hour podcast. I am never listening to
It'll be an hour of them talking, and then the second hour is like their interview, and then after that they talk more, and it's like you can kind of skip through it and get to the parts you want to listen to. But Peyton, let's get to talking about fantasy football, fantasy hockey, because I mean, wow, this podcast has been going for 54 minutes. This has been a good podcast, to be honest. Where do we want to start? I just want to start off fantasy hockey. I should be making the playoffs in the Oilers Nation.
Let's go.
So
Let's go, Woz.
I'm currently beating the first place team and our boy Spencer, who just recently left the nation. And he was part of the marketing side. And he has Connor McDavid on his team. And I'm still beating him. Good stuff. I'm likely to beat him. And if I win, I'm guaranteed a playoff spot. Our boy Aaron, who hosts Pregame with Borzy and Oilers Nation After Dark, he will not make the playoffs.
Oh my God.
So it was one of those things, it's one of those things where I think if I lost and he won, I think he would make the playoffs, but I think I might have still had a chance because of points scored. But we're actually making the playoffs in fantasy for once, because in fantasy football, I have had the same record for the past 2 years. And let me tell you about some of the moves I made in fantasy football this past year. And this is fun.
Yeah,
I've got the sleeper app open. Okay. So to end the year, my starters were Mac Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, Rico Dowdle, Quentin Johnson, T. Higgins.
That's good.
Zach Ertz, Lad McConkey.
That's good.
Who's this guy? Devon Vele.
Was.
Let's go to, if I can go, I'm gonna go to week 1 here, Peyton.
Okay.
Can I go to week 1? Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Because my week 1 with team was pretty stacked. Oh, man, I had James Winston for a while.
What? I feel like you just hop on the bandwagons of the guys that you just like and you just pick them up, because no one's picking up Jameis Winston. Like, there's no way.
So we're going to week 1 here. In week 1, I had Tua, Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Harris, Puka Nacua, Justin Jefferson.
Bro, your team was good.
Evan Engram.
Okay.
Josh Palmer. And Will Levis.
It's a lot better than what you just named off, but
the one player that lasted me throughout this entire fantasy football year was Isaiah Pacheco, because he was on IR.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone else is off roster.
Well, I feel like for next NFL season, watch a video. Like, you gotta watch videos.
I watched videos, man. I did.
How are you still that? Bro, your end of the season team might be one of the worst fantasy teams I've ever heard in my life, dude. That's the worst team ever.
I know.
That's genuinely so bad.
My QBs went from like Tua, because he got concussed in week 3.
Why would you pick up Will Levis as your backup?
Listen, no, I went from Tua to Geno Smith.
Oh my God.
And I ran with Geno Smith for up until week 7, where I got Andy Dalton.
Yeah, Andy Dalton.
And then I ended up making a trade for Trevor Lawrence. And then I probably had like 4 different quarterbacks. And then Mac Jones ended up, because he replaced Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to try and find the trade.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to even hear that trade again. That might have been are you talking about the trade that's really bad? That might have been one of the worst fantasy football trades of all time?
It is on my Instagram, I believe. Let me try and find it.
That's actually impressive you posted that. You know what? I give you props for that, because a lot of people wouldn't have posted that, and you do. So give you props.
So no, that's not it. Let me try again. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I posted a lot on Instagram for a little while there. So the trade, which is arguably the worst trade of fantasy football, and I did this with like genuine thought.
Oh God.
I traded Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, for Braylon Allen, Devin Singletary, and T. Higgins, which was on September 24th, 2024. So by that point, I'd already lost Tua, Puka, and Isaiah Pacheco to injury. So I had to make a change. I just I traded Jefferson for the
That
worst
hurts.
deal possible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That like every time you say that, I've heard it a bunch of times. It like hurts a little
You
bit every
lose
single
brain
time.
cells if you're a fantasy.
That's exactly
Yeah.
yes. You lose a little bit of brain cells, but Woz, guess what? You're gonna bounce back next season. I have so much faith in you. I know you're gonna study. You're gonna do great things next
Brother,
year.
I studied videos. I watch Sal Vetri every week.
Study more. Come on, Woz, lock in.
Bro, some of these suggestions were because of Sal Vetri, like Braylon Allen. He's like, oh, he's gonna be, watch out for him, especially if who's the other running back on the Jets?
Brees Hall.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Brees Hall gets hurt, and Braylon Allen goes in that position. Braylon Allen can
why would you trade Justin Jefferson?
I had to make a change, man. We had it's like that. I don't like to bring up Trump. I don't like to bring politics in him, but it's like I had the concept of a plan, man.
You know what? I like how ballsy you were. You didn't really care, but
I did care.
I mean,
it was an emotional decision.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know what your emotions were feeling like. Because if I had emotions, I don't think I would make that
I
trade.
got bullied by all my coworkers to the point where Tyler, your Remchuk, said, "I'm done with this fantasy football league," and he got last place. He stopped giving a fuck because of that trade.
Yeah, I think I would too. That's the worst trade ever.
I trust your editing skills. You got to make this into a bit of a clip.
I will.
I will have some fun with it.
I will, because it's just.
You can make two clips. Me comparing my team at the end and the first, and it's like, the more I think about it, like at the end of week 17,
you know what, Woz? You should just move on from this. Don't you keep bringing it up. You need to go into next season. You need to refresh yourself.
I'm a Raiders fan.
You will, probably for more than a week. Maybe more than a week, because it's usually you pick a team, you stick with them for a week, and then you move on. So hey, maybe a Raiders for a week, maybe the Titans for a week. Maybe you never know. Maybe come to the Niners for a week.
No, I don't know. I think I have an issue. I can't cheer for teams that wear red. Actually, that is fucking false. I cheer for Manchester United. Yeah, never mind.
I was like, well, you literally cheer. You're Manchester United fan. Yeah. They wear red. Their home jerseys red.
Well, honestly, I don't watch United that much as I did like 5 years ago, which is crazy to think it's been 5 years. Yeah. I was very heavily invested in the Man United, and now I didn't even watch the game today. I'm like, sick.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about that, like the price of streaming services in Canada, but
it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I want to say you have to pay nearly $70 Canadian if you want to watch every top European league in Canada. So La Liga is on TSN. You got to pay $8 a month for that. DAZN is the Champions League, and Bundesliga, Saudi League, that is nearly $36.
Jeez, that's so stupid. So stupid.
And Fubo is $25.
So stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
to end it off, we're past an hour mark. It's been a fun podcast. Oh my god,
very fun.
Colonoscopy update. Went through that. Holy shit! No pun intended. No pun intended.
Why do you keep doing these funny jokes? Like last time you said you're digging yourself into a hole, or they're going deep in the
hole. Yeah, I went through that, and that was a challenge. So you have to do prep for it. And I did that on Thursday, and you have to drink this fucking solution, and you have to mix it with this powder. You mix it with water. You have to drink it at like 8 p.m. at a specific time twice.
Jeez,
it was the worst thing I think I've ever drank. It tasted like salty bubble gum, and I had to drink a liter of it twice. And I nearly gagged on it 3 times. And the way I would drink it was, I didn't drink it straight. I'm like, I don't have the balls for that. I took shots of it.
Really?
Yeah, I just took shots of it, and to a point where like maybe I'll try a straw, and that kind of was a little easier. But
yeah,
man,
does not sound fun.
No,
does not sound fun.
The procedure was actually pretty smooth. I went in for like 11:30. They didn't get me in till like 1:30, so I was just chilling there. I'm like waiting for them to push my bed into it's like an operating room, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they sedated me, which was like, the more I think about it, it's crazy how you ever had like surgery, dude? You fall asleep instantly.
That's
I
crazy.
thought it was like, I thought it's one of those things where you kind of like just like get tired.
Get tired over time. That's what I thought it was. Or is it just right away?
Right away.
Jeez.
I'm like, they're like, yeah, just give it a moment, it'll work. I'm like, oh, so I'm gonna get tired, fall asleep, kind of thing. Nope, boom, you're knocked out, and then you kind of wake up. You're like,
that's crazy.
It's the best sleep of your life, man. It's like anyone who's nervous about surgery, operating, trust me, you
crazy.
Get a really nice sleep. You don't feel a thing.
I thought it was like where you're like, oh geez, okay, but it's you just like are out like that. It's kind of like you get knocked out.
I don't even remember falling asleep, man.
Dude, that's crazy. I did not know that.
There you go. So
we learn something new every day.
And the good news is I'm fine. It wasn't nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I'm alive.
Let's go.
I just had some things I needed to get checked out, and I mean,
good to hear.
Hemorrhoids. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
So, I just want to say don't be afraid to get your body checked. It's important. Sometimes it's awkward to talk about, but your health is important, and like it's one of those things. If I didn't get checked out, like I don't know what I could have had cancer, and 100%. That's a whole different thing. But I think we'll leave it at that. We're gonna wrap it up. Woz Cast episode 1. This is not the pilot episode. And shout out to Electronic Jordan who commented on our audio last time. Apparently the audio was a little different, so I recorded. We did this off StreamYard this time because Peyton has an account. I don't know how to get into the Oilers Nation account.
We'll see if it's better. I think
you were louder than me. You sounded louder than me. So
maybe
So
we'll see. We'll see how this one sounds. Hopefully it sounds better. We're getting better every single podcast.
We're gonna upload this to Spotify, Apple. That's only where we're at. Leave a like or
follow the Instagram as well.
We'll post some clips. We're gonna post a ton of clips, like things that I think weird. But I'm gonna upload this, schedule it for 6 a.m. That way you can get it early. And I'm gonna go play some World of Warcraft.
I'm gonna go play some college football 25.
Good idea. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Woz Cast. You're beautiful. You're incredible. Let's go Oilers. Let's go my fantasy team.
Let's go Oilers.
Go 49ers.